Whenever you are in the vicinity, please do come and interact with us and tell us where you want us to be and how we can get there. So with these few words, I welcome everybody in the BIT fold to this Bitosa Global Conclave. And I would like to thank Dr. Roop Roy Chaudhary, Richie Mittal, and others for putting in the effort required to organize this. And we already have Dr. Ganesh Natarajan hosting it next year, and next to next year is also taken. But next to next year, we want to take it to USA, and I can see that, people are vying for that. So thank you very much for coming here, and let us have very fruitful deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a warm round of applause for all our distinguished dignitaries on the dais who have spoken at the inaugural session. I would like to request Dr. Roop Roy Chaudhary to please present mementos to all our esteemed guests on the dais. So, sir, could you please present a memento to Dr. Pachauri? Mr. Birla? And to Dr. M.K. Mishra. So let's wrap up the inaugural session with a nice warm round of applause. Thank you so much to all our dignitaries, and thank you, Dr. Pachauri, for taking out the time. It really has been an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Thank you all. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will break for tea and coffee. We will assemble back here. Yes, sir. So as per instructions, 11:30 a.m., ladies and gentlemen, we have a very fruitful and productive day lined up ahead. So let's have tea and coffee, and we'll see you back here at 11:30 a.m. Thank you. Can we have Mr. Richie Mittal join us on stage? Thank you all. We invite you to join us for tea and coffee. We shall see you back here 11:30 a.m. Thank you. Mr. Rajiv Chawla, ED Information Technology, Indian Oil Corporation. Mr. Jagdish Mitra, Head of Mobility, Tech Mahindra. And finally, we have Mr. Prabhu Venkatesh, co-founder of Minetta Brook. It's my privilege to invite all our panelists to the stage. I'd like to invite Dr. Ganesh Natarajan to the stage, please. Let me tell you, everyone, that Dr. Ganesh has been one of the most successful and dynamic professionals in the Indian information technology industry and has been leading Zensar as the CEO for over 7 years now, making Zensar one of the most successful IT companies in the country and amongst Fortune top Fortune's top 10 global offshore outsourcing companies from India. Next, we have with us Mr. Sanjay Nayak, who is the co-founder and CEO of Tejas Networks Bangalore. Tejas, ladies and gentlemen, is a pioneering telecom product company from India, which has successfully grown to become the market leader in India and a global player in optical networking and packet products. We're also privileged to have with us Mr. Rajiv Chawla, who will be the moderator today. I'd like to tell you that after passing out, he worked for over a year in a private company. After this, for 34 years, he worked in various capacities in the refineries and corporate offices of the Indian Oil Corporation Limited. He is working in the Information Technology Department for the last 25 years and is currently heading the Information Technology Department of Indian Oil. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have with us Mr. Jagdish Mitra. He is the CEO of Canvas M, the mobility unit of Tech Mahindra, founded in the year 2006. I'd like to tell you that he was its founding member as well. He additionally heads the mobility and large deals business of Tech Mahindra overall and is also the board member of Mahindra Comviva. Finally, we have with us Mr. Prabhu Venkatesh, who is the co-founder of Minetta Brook, a startup that has built machine learning systems that use real-time computational linguistics for the purpose of understanding large quantities of unstructured information. It is currently being used on the Bloomberg terminal to give financial professionals the ability to predict or explain the impact of news on their portfolios. We now hand over, of course, to our moderator for this session, Mr. Rajiv Chawla. So we're all set to begin our discussion on leadership in information technology. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible? Yeah. Thank you very much. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. I think we'll start the session with a brief round of introduction, though the introduction has already been given, but just what the panelists want to say, about what their lives have been after passing out of our esteemed institution. So I think I'll start with Mr. Ganesh Natarajan, or Dr. Ganesh Natarajan, please.
Thank you, and it's always a pleasure to be here. I was in the Bangalore session of Bitosa, wonderful session organized by Varun and his team some time back. And we were getting very nostalgic, and Vice Chancellor Mishra was quite amazed to hear some of the stories of BIT Mesra. So very quickly, I think my journey has been what started in BIT Mesra, doing multiple things and occasionally studying. So now I do multiple things and occasionally run my company, which is Zensar Technologies, but also do a lot of work in corporate social responsibility as chairman of NASSCOM Foundation. I also run the Harvard Business School Club of India. So it's been BIT Mesra, NITI, Harvard Business School, running two companies, Aptech and now Zensar, and basically having a lot of fun. But it's good to be here.
Jagdish.
Hi, I'm Jagdish Mitra, and we were just discussing prior to this that, normally in BIT we used to say which year we joined because it was difficult for some students like me to say which year we could pass out. So I graduated in 91. And since then, I've been one of those, and then I did my MBA from University of London. And I've been one of those guys who are pretty, unsought after in IT because all these 21 years from after BIT Mesra and my MBA, I have been only in one company, which is very, very unknown, which was Mahindra British Telecom then and now Tech Mahindra. And that's what I've been doing. But it's never been as much fun as it was in Hostel 5. That much I can tell you.
I'm Sanjay Nayak. I'm 81 to 85 from BIT Mesra. After BIT, I went to North Carolina to do my master's. Joined a startup when it wasn't fashionable then. And then that startup became a large company called Cadence. And then I moved back to India. And then I have actually started a company called Tejas Networks, which is one of the first high-tech product companies in the ICT space. And we've been working at it for around 14 years now. So it's been fun actually building a product startup from India in the last so many years. Thanks.
My name is Prabhu Venkatesh, and I was in the 79 to 83 batch. And the one phrase that stands out for me from BIT is Jungle Mein Mangal. So wherever I've gone, I've always tried to find the jungle to do mangal in it. And this has involved Wall Street, It has involved information technology, which is a real jungle right now. So still trying to make sense of what's going on in that space. So hope to talk to you about it more.
A bit about myself. So I can say, there's this song, Kal bhi, aaj bhi, kal bhi. So I've been for 34 and a half years now, I've been with Indian Oil. I passed out in 79, and then after that worked for Motwani Private Limited for about less than a year. After that, I joined the instrumentation department of Indian Oil as a graduate engineer trainee, and then worked up my ladder. Now I'm heading the information technology department of Indian Oil. I've been with IT for the last 25 years, and well, I'm very close to retirement now. Thank you. So we'll start the session with Mr. Ganesh Natarajan. So Ganesh, can you take over, please?
Thank you very much, Rajiv. And I thought I'll maybe just take about 8-9 minutes to just give some thoughts on what's happening in the broader world of information technology. And more important, demystify some of these wonderful concepts we keep hearing about nowadays, digital India and everything else. And just to say that, look, what is the play that many of us who are in companies have in a space like this? And more important, what kind of trends we should look for? I'm not going to talk technology because I don't think that's the purpose. None of you are interested in that. But more important to say that, look, where is this world going? I was just discussing with Mr. Birla, and he was tabling a concern which all my friends in manufacturing tell me, that look, some of the best engineers who graduate want to join IT companies. So the Make in India dream and everything else is great, but if you don't get the right engineers joining manufacturing, what's the future of mechanical engineering? Of course, we in IT have a different worry, that the best engineers from the IITs don't join IT companies, by the way, nowadays. I mean, they probably join Tejas Networks, if at all, or they're joining investment banks. I mean, if you look at this young girl from IIT Bombay who got this 1.6 crore salary from Facebook, it's an exception. Because most of them were joining JP Morgan Chase and Morgan Stanley, etc., and getting huge salaries. And sometimes you wonder that if all our bright engineers who are subsidized either by government or by private sector are going to end up joining multinational banks, what's left for the country? So I think that is the big concern many of us have. So let me start by a little bit about digital India. What does it really mean? Okay, and we were sitting with DAITI, which is the Department of Electronics and IT, just last week in Delhi, and we were just having a brainstorm of what is the vision for digital India. And I thought I'll just start with that. Think about it. It's the year 2020. Maybe your children or your grandchildren, or maybe your son is working in a manufacturing company in Ranchi or in Pune or in Delhi or wherever. And imagine a situation where while he is the manufacturing head of the plant, wherever that is, everything is being managed automatically. Because by 2020, even the parts will be produced by 3D printing. Most of the supply chains, the way we understand it, will be completely demolished because you won't really need to transport materials across large elements of thing. The entire factory will be sensor driven, which really means that most machines will be automatically correcting. So the age-old maintenance manager who would go and diagnose a problem and find the problem probably would cease to exist because everything will be self-correcting. So you're talking about Internet of Things, which is the big buzzword nowadays, connecting up sensors, connecting up technology, connecting shop floor information to the ERPs as we know it today. And that's the vision for manufacturing we're seeing. So here's your son. I mean, he's actually sitting in an air-conditioned cabin and being factory manager of that factory because the factory doesn't need any management. Thank you very much. But at 6 o'clock, he gets a message on his smartphone which says that, look, now it's about time to go home because your wife has invited people for dinner at 8 o'clock and you better show up because Internet of Things or otherwise, you don't mess with your wife's plans, right, guys? Or your husband's for that matter. Okay. So he gets that message. But in the meantime, the refrigerator at home, which is an intelligent refrigerator, has already sensed that it is running out of milk. So what does it do? I mean, it's an intelligent refrigerator. So it sends a message to the car, which is an intelligent car. It's a Google car, which means you don't have a driver either. So it's self-driven. So the car automatically knows that by the time Sahab has to go home, he needs milk to make his chai. An automatic message has gone to the retail store saying that, look, half a carton of milk, please be available. So you get into the car, your son gets into the car, and he is automatically driven past the retail store where there is a click and collect facility where the milk is then delivered to the car and goes home. In a sense, what you're seeing is what digital civilizations are all about. I was in Singapore about 3 months back, and I was just talking to them, what is digital Singapore? What's it going to mean? And already you have smart cards and chips and everything everywhere. I mean, their vision is that eventually they will even eliminate the Singapore dollar, which means that when you're a citizen of Singapore, your net worth or how much money you think you have is known to everybody, definitely the government. And as and when you go through buses, trains, buy stuff, everything is optical recognition. So based on your optical scan, it will automatically debit what you should pay to the merchant. And that bank transaction is happening behind your back. You don't pay money. You don't even flash your credit card, nothing. And one fine day, what will happen is when you open your eyes for optical recognition in a store, saying that I want to buy this expensive smartphone, now the store, somewhere somebody knows that you've run out of cash. So the next thing you open your eyes, you will not be optically recognized. The Singapore cops will be there to throw you out of the country. Okay? So this is digital. Okay? And when we talk about digital India, a lot of us think, oh, it's smart cities and some more computers here or there, but the opportunity is going to be that much more. And our own view of digital India, by the way, is, I mean, Prime Minister has talked about these 100 smart cities, both greenfield, which are some new cities like Palava, which is being built by IBM and Lodha developers, new cities or brownfield cities, which means cities like Pune, we're already talking to the city of Bhopal, for instance, make it completely customer friendly in the sense that, I mean, just to give you an example of Madhya Pradesh, they're talking about a complete cloud-based environment. Arup talked about cloud for Bitosa Global, but the cloud-based Bhopal, for instance, could well be that if there are maybe 1,400 SME manufacturers, all working on the Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor, each one of their supply chains will be connected on the cloud. Which means that even today, I mean, automatically, if you're a supplier to Maruti, you have to deliver at 5 p.m. and you have complete access to their supply chain. So there are vignettes of this already happening, but eventually everything will be connected. So if the entire DMIC gets connected up, so right from Delhi to Mumbai through all the 4 states, you will have total connectivity of supply chains. That's from the manufacturing point of view. Financial inclusion, you've all heard about the Prime Minister's Jan Yojana, which is they already have multiple people authorized for microfinance. Again, all this information is happening. Connected education. I was talking to Mr. Birla and, of course, Vice Chancellor, that at some stage, our entire pedagogy of delivering education, whether it's engineering education, management education, will change because it will be delivered through technology. One of the biggest projects I'm currently involved in